I'm going to make a few of the applique blocks for my applique quilt. This is not one that I've spoken about a whole lot on my channel. It is because it's one I started about 2 years ago. My wife and I, Amanda, we have hosted exchange students in the past. The first one we had was for the 2019-2020 school year. Her name was Misha, and she was a lovely young lady from Poland. And I decided to make her a quilt. Chronicling her experiences here in America, and I'm still working on it. So today's blocks that I'm going to work on is, I'm either going to make 2 or 3 depending on how much time we have. Want to spend about an hour on the live today. I'm going to move this camera slightly to try and move the like the sunlight behind us. I'm going to do this one here. It looks like, hopefully it looks like fireworks for July 4th. And then this one here is hopefully looks like an Easter egg. And then if we get time to do it, I'm also going to do a third block. And it hopefully looks like Dwight from The Office, because she was a huge Office fan. And so I've done quite a few blocks in the past, and I've shown a few of them on my channel before, but I wanted to go through and show each of you because I'm really proud of a lot of these blocks, and not a lot of people have seen them. And she loved Reese's cups, so I made this one. And she also really liked tacos and Mexican food, because that is not a huge thing over in Europe from what I understand. And then this one here is the hurricane symbol, because we had, I think it was Hurricane Dorian come by close to us. And then a corn maze, we took us through a corn maze, and that was actually my first time going through a corn maze as well. And this is one of her favorites. This is the Hamilton logo. She got to see the off-Broadway production with my wife while she was here, and those two were absolutely obsessed with it. And then we took her to Washington, D.C., and this is the reflecting lake and the Washington Monument, and the Lincoln Memorial. And then this is the United plane that she took to get here. And then this is one of the lighthouses down on the Outer Banks in North Carolina. I always forget the names, so I'm not going to try and guess because I'm going to be wrong. And then this is Little Bandit. And then her graduation cap, because she was in 12th grade and got to graduate. Although it was a weird one because it was 2020 and COVID. But she did get to graduate drive-by, so that was always fun. And then a hot dog. That was something else she got to enjoy while she was here. And mini golf. And then our good friend COVID-19. And then the next one is our Wii remote. We played a lot of Wii Sports during the pandemic. And a hamburger. And then this is Jockey's Ridge down in the Outer Banks. It's a kite, and then some bushes, and then the huge sand dunes down there if you've ever been down there. And then this is one of the other lighthouses on the Outer Banks. And then the Great Toilet Paper Crisis of 2020. And then we had Election Day while we're here. And then this is the logo for the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, because we took her over there. And the Jefferson Memorial. And then we did what we called the Murdochs. They loved watching Murdoch mysteries, and she loved drawing these birds, so I kind of joined the two together to have some fun with that one. And then next up was movies. We watched a lot of movies together during the pandemic and the lockdown, and a lot of board games. And then we took her to the Jefferson Memorial, not the memorial, their house, Monticello. I always get the name wrong. And then I tried to chronicle a lot of the holidays. So this is Halloween with the candy corn. And this is the Shiloh Sisters, I believe that's what it's called, from Hamilton. And then this is our favorite place to go for ice cream, called Uncle Rick's. And then this is from the Gilmore Girls, which was one of their favorite series to watch. And then our house. And then Thanksgiving. And then this is for Colonial Williamsburg. This is the Governor's Palace there. and then Christmas. And then we also tried to chronicle the courses she took. So this was German 5. And then this is her English course. This is one of the books she read in 1984. And then Baby Yoda, she was obsessed with Baby Yoda. And then this one is the Mountains of Virginia. And then we taught her how to play cornhole, and she loved that. She was actually very good at that. And then we did a lot of baking together. And so that's like a bowl and a ladle. Hopefully it looks good. And then this is just reading. She loved to read. I've got to put like a title down here at some point. And then we did pumpkin carving. And we also did some apple picking. And then this is for the ocean. The King Neptune's one of the mascots down at Virginia Beach, so we did that. And then some snow. Snowman. We didn't get a whole lot of snow while she was here, but we did it anyway. And then she used to love saying, every time she saw a bird, she'd say, "It's a bird." And then this is the cardinal, which is the state bird of Virginia. And then this is the Jamestown settlement. And then the Science Museum of Virginia. This is a really neat museum up in Richmond. All right, Colleen's asking what kind of stabilizer did I use on these. I used the Pellin P44F, the same one I use for my t-shirt quilts. She also loved Doritos. And then this was one of the plantations we went and visited. I can't remember the name of it, but it was where they had like one of the first Thanksgivings in Virginia. It was a really neat place. And then this is her biology class that she took. And then Harry Potter. And then this is like the Virginia Beach oceanfront. And then I tried to do outlines of every state she visited. So we've got Virginia, and it's probably upside down, but I believe that's New Jersey. And then New York, Maryland, and North Carolina. We are almost done, and then we'll get sewing, I promise. And then we have tennis courts at the school nearby, so she got to do that. She went to one of the football games. And then this is Senor Copper. And then finally, the U.S. Capitol building. And so that is all the blocks that I've done so far. I think I have about 30 more that I want to do so I can make a full quilt, and that's where these 3 today go to come into play. So let me just check the chat real quick just to make sure I haven't missed anything, because I was just busy making sure it was all on the camera. All right, Janet asked how many blocks I've done. I have a list. I think it's about 60 on that, and I've got about 30. I think she wanted a twin size quilt, so I think I need about 90 to 100 to make it work properly. That 8.5-inch squares. Once you do the seam allowances, it'll be down to about 8 inches. All right, let me just scroll back up to the top. Everyone's saying good morning, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Moldy Lasagna says it's going to be a hot one in Central Florida. I think it's going to be fairly nice here for a summer day. The Beehive Buff says a kid's Office fan. Yeah, Misha loved The Office. I couldn't get into it, but you know, everyone has different things. Let's just see. Lisa says the blocks are crazy fun. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Courtney's here. It's early for her. Colleen says, wow, Sean, these are all very clever, beautiful, and fun. I've had a blast making this, and I just haven't touched it in a while, unfortunately, but I'm glad that I was able to do it today and give me something different to show you guys. Let's see. All right, Mum and Pop Quilt Shop's here with us today. Awesome. She said she loves the Harry block. I'm so glad that each and every one of you here. It just makes me so happy, because I just didn't know how well this would work, you know, doing it so early in the US morning, because it's only 8 something in the morning here on the East Coast. So for the people out in Central and Mountain, it's a little earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the easy block, was what I'm going to call the easy block. The Easter egg Hopefully it looks like an Easter egg to anybody else. Actually, no, we've got to change things up. Because I have the white thread already in the machine, we're going to do this one first. So I'm going to knock out this part here. So I'm going to move the camera in just a second once I change the foot, because right now I have my 1/4 inch foot, and that's not going to work for doing my applique zigzag. Have many of you guys done applique, or is it something that scares you? Alright, Janet says it's 8:20 p.m. in Western Australia. Yeah, it's one of the reasons I'm doing the early morning, because A, I'm an early riser, and B, I wanted to try and catch you guys in Europe and Australia as well, and give you a chance to catch something live as well. Alright, so we've done that. Just adjusting my settings. Okay, and I think we are good to go. Alright, Kendall Taylor says she's allergic to applique. I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, it's not that scary. I mean, I think once you try it a couple of times, I've really come to enjoy it. I kind of feel the same way about foundation paper piecing, but my friends Beth and Courtney and a lot of others assure me it's not that hard. And I'm going to actually do a live with those two lovely ladies in a couple of weeks, and they're going to teach me how to make applique in the very near future. So right now I'm using about a 1mm stitch and about 3mm wide. I find that's a good applique width and length and width. So just watch and we'll see how it turns out. Alright, so Kendall Taylor says it's just after 10 p.m, so I gather she's somewhere on the east coast of Australia. I know it's a little late for you guys, but I've tried to make as many people, this is accessible to as many people as I can. And I went ahead last night and put fusible backing on all of these. I already prepped it, so I can be sewing this morning. Alright, hopefully you guys, I'll show you in more detail how it looks once I get around the other side of this. Okay. Maybe I'll be more organized. Okay. So you can see it there. It looks really nice. I mean, I find this is a good stitch length. These are going to be fireworks. Because I wanted to do July 4th. Because of COVID, she actually got this. They normally go home mid-June, but because of COVID, she got to stay until the 6th of July because the borders were not open for Poland, and so she actually got to stay and see July 4th, which is quite uncommon for exchange students. So I figured fireworks would be a really good thing, and this was the easiest way for me to do it. Alright, so that white part is done. I'm now going to duck over to another block and do Dwight's face because it's also white. I try and do as much as I can with each color so I don't have to change the thread quite as often. So we'll go ahead and get him done. Alright, I use some decorative stitches on my machine on my applique, gives it an extra touch. Yes, you can do a lot of stuff. Right now, I'm happy just doing the standard zigzag, but yes, Linda is very much correct. You can do what a lot of the decorative stitches if your machine offers that. If you have a message for me, definitely put at the guy who sews, because it'll come up highlighted for me and it'll be easier for me to see. Linda says the blanket stitches are great too. I would like to experiment with some different stitches, but I think since I started with zigzag on all of this so far, I'm probably going to stick with that for this project. But yeah, I definitely want to experiment with some different stitches and so forth in the future. Sorry, I should move my hand so you can see. Alright. Where'd I put my scissors? Oh, let's get another pair, why not? And so now Dwight's face is now attached. And so now I'm going to switch my thread color. I might go ahead and do the red so I can do the fireworks. So bear with me just a moment. Oh, Lisa's back. She got knocked out of YouTube, but that's okay. Things happen. I do that all the time. That's right. Mr. Mulder Lasagna is another guy who sews and actually has the same name as me, so I should remember that, but I am terrible with names. Now, where did I put my... I came prepared for this, like a good Boy Scout. There we go. Alright, Miss Shirley's in the house. If I miss someone, please accept my apologies. It's a one-man show, and I'm still learning how to do the lives. There we go. Right, where's my friend Jack? There you are. And so what are you guys all working on this weekend, if anything? Alright. Yes, I love the screen name as well. Now, there are different ways of doing applique. I don't glue my pieces, I just use pins. But I did notice my friend Melissa at Practically Creative put out a tutorial yesterday where she uses freezer paper and Elmer's glue sticks to attach hers down. I think that's a really neat idea. And she's actually going to be joining me in, I believe it's 3 weeks. And she's going to teach us that. What I'd like to do with these lives is have different people come on when possible and show what they are good at and show us some new tricks and techniques and that sort of thing there. So sometimes we're going to be by myself and sometimes I'm going to have some other people join me. So she'll be here with me on the 16th of July. And then on the 9th of July, 2 weeks from today, I'm going to have Beth and Courtney join me, and they're going to teach me how to do foundation paper piecing. And I'm really looking forward to that. I watched Beth's video the other day. She's done a really, really good tutorial on how to make basic foundation paper piecing, and she does a fantastic job teaching. She has a talent for that, so definitely check that out. And she'll be here in 2 weeks to join me, and that'll be fun. Okay. So now that's all done, that red part. I find it's best to do a couple of blocks at a time so that when you're changing your colors, you're not having to do it every single time. Lisa at the Beehive Buzz says she's actually finishing up some cushions for her kitchen chairs, and they're making an athletic long sleeve shirt for her husband to wear while out hiking. He's very allergic to poison ivy. Yeah, that stuff is not fun. I got attacked by that 10 years ago, and it was not a pleasant experience. And I admire those people that can make clothing. It is not my talent, not my calling. But I do love seeing what people can do with that. Try and move the camera a bit and see if that's a better angle for y'all. Alright, Lisa says that she started sewing clothing over 30 years. Quilting wasn't far behind. My grandmother taught me. That is awesome. I love it when I hear people that are able to learn from their family members. I didn't have that, unfortunately. My mother sewed a little bit, but I didn't get my interest in it until about 8 or 9 years ago, and unfortunately my mother was not around anymore to teach me. I learned right here on YouTube. So, but it is always great to hear how different people got their interest, and I find the ones that have been doing it for a while usually been taught by a family member. Alright, let me find where I put my pin cushion. Okay, here we go. And so you can see the red is done on these two. I have no more reds to do, so I'm going to go ahead and change over to my blue. And I try and match the colors the best I can. It's not ever going to be perfect, but it's usually pretty close. And I don't really have any blue wound on the bobbin, so I'm just going to use black as a bobbin, and it'll be close enough. Alright, let's see. My blue's over here. Okay. Alright. Tracy the Craft a Simple Life says, I've done garment and costume sewing, but never felt it was like my calling. Took years though. I'm the same way. I get called into I try and stay away from the costumes where I can, but I do get called in to help with my wife's and the school's drama productions, and occasionally I have to do costumes, but yeah, it's not my calling. I think a lot of us either gravitate to one or the other. Okay. So now I can do my blue, the blue on the firework. And I tried to do the fireworks so they were red, white, and blue for Independence Day. And I don't have a pattern for these. I just kind of looked up images on Google just to kind of get an idea of what I wanted to do for each thing, and then just kind of cut stuff out and made it up as I went along. If you guys were interested in like for a pattern or that sort of thing for any of these, just let me know and I can see what I can work out for you. If there was enough interest, I'd definitely do a tutorial, like a live or a tutorial or something like that for some of these blocks if you wanted. So, you know, definitely let me know. Alright, let's see. Love the Easter egg. Thank you, Laura Lynn. I'm really looking forward to doing that one. Some of these I've been sitting on for quite some time, trying to figure out what I want to do with them. And the Easter egg just came to mind last night because I just wanted something simple. That is done. And so this block is basically done now except for the wooden sticks, which I think we'll go ahead and do next because I have no more blue to do. So here is just a quick view of what we've done so far. I can go ahead and take that pin out of the white because it's now totally done. Alright, so let's go ahead and switch that out. Alright, dear Linda says she made Halloween costumes, home garments, because Grandma and Mum were seamstresses too. That is awesome. I wouldn't mind. I've considered making myself like a Harry Potter costume for Halloween one year, but I never quite seem to get the time to do it. But you know, maybe one year I'll get around to it. Okay, so now we're just switching out our threads once again. That's probably the most time-consuming and tedious part of this is changing the threads. Thankfully, I've gotten pretty good at it. Alright. Alright, Colleen asked if I had time to get the bot or even want to. Yeah, it should be running, Colleen. Oh, Miss Dawn from My Quilt Project is here. Good morning, great to see you. And for anybody that came in late, this is my Saturday morning lives. I plan on doing these as often as I can on Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. Eastern. And it's going to be a kind of a hodgepodge. You know, sometimes I'll do little projects like this. I'm also going to have some other people join me on occasion to show me some of their techniques. I'm going to put up like a schedule on the YouTube, so you'll be able to see what's coming up soon. Right now, this week I'm doing this. Next week I had a plan, and I've written it down somewhere, and I'll have to look it up again. And then 2 weeks from now, I'm going to have Beth and Courtney come join me and show me how to do foundation paper piecing, and that's really exciting. And then the following week on the 16th, Melissa from Practically Creative is going to come join me and show me how to do freezer paper applique, which will be an interesting technique. All right. Yeah, a lot of us are now running bots. If you happen to get a timeout or something like that, just bear with us. Our moderators will check it for us. We're still trying to get the best settings. I've tried to make my settings fairly lenient, so I'm hoping we don't have too many problems. But if we do, you know, definitely we'll check it out and we'll get it tweaked so it's nice. Okay, let's see. Joyce says I can't decide. Will I be McGonagall? Mad and huge for myself. We actually did a costume thing at our office a few years ago where our whole department dressed up as Harry Potter characters, and that was a lot of fun. I was Ron Weasley. The other guy in my department was Harry Potter, and we had, Madam Hooch, Bellatrix, all the characters. It was a lot of fun. Half the ladies didn't know anything about it, but, you know, we just told them what to do, and they were good sports and joined in. Okay. And we're just about done with this block. Okay. Alright, Joyce says today her hair would be perfect for Bellatrix. Yeah, we had one of our co-workers dress up as Bellatrix, and yeah, she did the hair perfectly as well. I thought it was great. Alright, so this one here, the July 4th one, is now done. I'll try and give you a closer look at the applique if it's possible. And so once you get everything organized, it comes together pretty quickly, is what I've found. So now we're going to go ahead, since we have that same basic color, we'll go ahead and do Dwight's jacket. For those of you that are Office fans, does this look like Dwight? I tried to do the best I could, but I'm not an Office fan. I tried, I really did, but it just wasn't for me. Alright, Kendall says it's time for me to jet. Have fun and play night. Thank you so much for joining us, Kendall. I hope you have a good evening or morning. I forget exactly where. I think it's evening for you, but I can't remember. Dwight normally wears a tie, which I have not included in this. But the beauty of the applique is if I decide to do a tie later on, I can always go ahead and just tack it on later on. another fun tip, if you use applique, I've found that these like embroidery scissors are really good for that. My friend Stephanie sent me a pair of these the other month as a little gift, and I have really appreciated it for so many reasons, and for applique definitely. Alright, let's see. Melbourne, okay. Alright, I thought you were one of our Aussie visitors, and I'm so happy to see some of my fellow Aussies here with us today. Have a good night, sleep well, and yeah, definitely catch the replay if you want to catch the rest of it. Okay, now we're back in business. And how is the camera angle for you all? Should I move it up, down, leave it where it is? Oh, get it right in a minute. Okay. Didn't leave enough tail on my thread. That's alright. As you can see, even in the live world, nothing is perfect. Alright. I'm going to go ahead and try and move this just to see if it's... Alright, let's see how that works. Sorry, I'm just trying to find the best setting for you all. If I get my fingers out of the way, it would help. Last thing I don't want to move it around too much and give you all vertigo or motion sickness, because from someone that suffers motion sickness, I know it's no fun. Okay, so let's see. Oh, let's move the old sewing machine out of the way. That's what we've got done so far. I still need to attach the glasses and Dwight's hair, and then the fireworks block is done. And then we just need to knock out the Easter eggs, so we should be good. I'm hoping to be done by about 9 Eastern or close to it. I didn't know if I'd get 2 blocks done or 3, so I went ahead and made 3 just to be on the safe side. Alright, so since we have Dwight here, we might as well just go ahead and do the brown next. We'll get his hair attached, and then he'll be almost done. Alright, so where is my brown thread? There it is. I pulled all these out ahead of time to try and be organized. And if any of you guys are watching today and you have a technique or something and would like to join me on one of these lives, you don't have to have a channel. Reach out to me, guywhosews@gmail.com, and let me know, and I'll definitely have you come join me, because I'd love to see what other people can teach and share and that sort of thing there, you know, because I don't have all the answers, and I would love to see what everybody else excels at and what they can teach us. Alright, so let's go ahead and attach. We've got to move him out of the way. Glasses. The Craft Simple Life Tracy, yes, Amanda is feeling a whole lot better. I mean, she still has a little bit of recovery to go, but the recovery has gone quite well, and she's getting closer back to a normal self. She actually was able to knit yesterday for the first time, which is really, really good news. Colleen, I don't think the email address is case sensitive. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think it is. So, I mean, you can do upper or lowercase. I think you'll be okay. Yeah, dear Linda, she's doing well. She had some planned surgery last week, and which has a, you know, fairly decent recovery time, but she's doing extremely well. Hang on a second. Okay, thank you, Colleen. I was about to pull it up. There is a command for her channel as well. I think it's Dog Mom. Yeah, anyone that likes knitting, she does a podcast similar to mine every other week, and she's just started off a couple of months ago. So if you're interested at all in knitting, she is fun to watch. And so definitely check it out if that's something you're interested in. Alright, so let's see. Mr. Dwight's hair is now done. Alright, let's see. Okay, Joyce Baker knits too, mostly socks, knit, hats, and scarves. Yeah, Amanda's the same way. She does a lot of socks. She's done a lot of scarves and that sort of thing in the past. And I think she has more than enough scarves to last her until well past retirement. So right now her focus is mostly on socks. Let's see. Yes, her bonus content's a lot of fun too. She's trying to do more tutorials and bonus content and that as well. So, yeah, she's a lot of fun. Alright, so we'll go ahead and attach Dwight's glasses and then he'll be done too. I'll just sit him over here real quick so you can... Whoop. Uh-oh. Oh, that came undone. That's not good. Uh-oh. Sewing machine's falling apart. Alright, let's screw it back in. Okay. So it looks like we do have quite a few knitters here, which is always good. Okay. Now this is the part that I'm the most nervous and scared of, because the glasses are going to go around both the inside and the outside. But we're going to give it our best shot and see what happens. Okay. Yeah, Colleen's putting in some links for some of the other lives and so forth. Mum and Pop are on at 11 AM and 1 PM today Eastern Time, and they are a bunch of fun to watch. They are just the loveliest people, so if you need something else to watch today, definitely check them out. Alright, and then Tracy says you could straight stitch baste it if you want to, but you're doing great. That is a great idea. I've done that in the past. There was an applique project I did a few weeks ago where I did exactly that. I think it was actually for the darkened wall hanging. Because I cheated and didn't put fusible backing on it, so I straight stitch basted it instead. I always love hearing your ideas and suggestions, because there's so much experience and wealth of knowledge out there, and I don't have all the answers. Thank you, Nancy. I appreciate that. I think I've come a long way with my applique. I am by no means perfect, and I don't think I'm going to win the State Fair application quilt show anytime soon, but it's a lot better than when I started. So that's done. I just need to run around the inside. It wasn't quite as difficult as I thought it was going to be, so that's always good news. And I found the trick with going around curves is take it slow and adjust as you need. Alright, been assimilated. Are you talking about the bot, Melissa? Oh, that's not good. Oh well, finished is better than perfect, right? You said that I've been assimilated, Melissa, and I was asking if that was in reference to the bot. Okay, alright, excellent. Yeah, Colleen mentioned it to me the other day and asked me if I was interested, and I was like, absolutely, I didn't know anything about it, and she did a really good tutorial on it and everything else, so I'm glad I was able to get that organized, because that was one of the things on my to-do list. I like how it has the commands and everything else. It makes it a lot easier for the mods and anybody else that may need it. Okay. We are almost done with Mr. Dwight. I'm excited to be able to show Misha this tomorrow. We do a weekly Skype call with her, and I often do like a show and tell for her of what I've sewn, and she'll be really excited to see this one, I'm sure. I go too slow on curves, and sometimes I use a slower setting. I'll see if I can post my applique wall hanging, just need to quilt it on Facebook, maybe on Stephanie Stitches. Okay, that sounds good. And then you can also post it on our Discord if you want. That's something else I meant to mention earlier, is we have a joint Discord group where everybody is welcome, and it's a great place to put your works in progresses and general discussions, and the link to that should be in the descriptions of most of my videos. It might be on this one, I'm not 100% sure. But knowing Colleen, she probably has the link to it right at hand and can put it in for me. And I'll have to definitely add that as a command too, so that way you guys can look it up in the very near future. Alright, and now Mr. Dwight is done. So we've got 2 out of the 3 done, so we just need to go ahead and do our Easter egg, and we'll have 3 more blocks done for this quilt, which will be awesome, because I haven't worked on this in way too long. Go ahead and show Mr. Dwight. Okay. And I tried to be done by 9, about an hour. I'm going to be just a little over that. But somehow I don't think you guys are going to mind. Out this real quick. We'll go ahead and use yellow. And once I'm done, I'll show all 3 blocks in a little more detail as well. I just don't want to move the camera around too much and give you all vertigo. But I'm figuring like another 10 minutes, maybe less, and we'll be done. And that way you guys can all go about your days and do whatever you want. And I do appreciate more than you ever know that you all decided to come along and join me for a while. Because I know it's early for so many of you guys. But morning time is the best time for me. So here I am. Okay, let's see. Let's put this nice little Easter egg together. And I could be wrong here. I think Deolinda was saying earlier she goes too slow on the corners. I think the trick with applique is finding the sweet spot with your stitch length and width more so than how. I mean, I find it doesn't matter if I go faster or slower around the corners. I found a 1mm length and a 3mm width for most pieces works beautifully. And then again, that could just be for me. Thank you so much, Colleen. Colleen does a fantastic job. I say thank you to her all the time, but she just does a fantastic job and looks after us so well, and we're so lucky to have her. Alright, so the bottom of the egg is now done. We'll go ahead and attach the blue next. I'll switch him out. Now I could cheat and just use one color the whole time, but I like to match the fabrics wherever I can, because I just think it makes it look a little more polished. And I have all these different threads, so I might as well use them. Okay. Hey, good morning, Shelley. Shelley is my sister, and she's the one that I'm making the koala quilt for. I have not finished cutting out all of the pieces of that yet, but I'm hoping to do that later this afternoon. Whether I have anything to show you tomorrow or not on that, I don't know yet, but I'm hopeful. Ow. All right. Yeah, Shelley is also a quilter. She doesn't quilt as much since she had her first child, because that tends to take up a lot of your time, as most of your mothers would already know. But when she comes to visit, her and I usually put a quilt together, and we have a lot of fun sewing together. And she watches my podcast, and so does my nephew Boston. That's a good way for him to connect with Uncle Sean. Lisa's asking, do I change this bobbin thread? It depends. If the bobbin color is close, I don't change it out. But if it is going to change dramatically, like I'm going from like a light blue to a red or a black or something, I will change it. When I changed between the yellow and the blue here, I didn't. I don't plan on doing it for the purple either. So as long as it's close, I'll leave it the same. So now Shelley's meeting all my friends. Yeah, she's a pretty regular viewer here on the live. She jumps in when she can. It's pretty late for her. It's after 11 p.m. But then again, it might be feeding time for Mr. Boston. Alright. And we've got one more piece to do, and we will be all done. Alright, where did the purple go? There we go. Yes, Shelley, I think you've made a lot of people very happy with that koala quilt, and I'm really looking forward to making it. Alright, so last piece is this purple. Just going to zip around the top. Alright, and it looks like we are now done. So, we will just pull these out. Let me move that pin so it doesn't drop on the ground. Let's move the camera real quick so you can actually see me just briefly. Oh, we should cut these threads so it looks like it's halfway decent. Okay, so this is the completed Easter egg. And I like the lime green background because it looks very Eastery. And then this is Mr. Dwight from The Office. And then finally is, since it's just around the corner, the July 4th fireworks. And so that is it for today's live. I appreciate you all joining me today. I hope you all had fun and um, had fun with the live. And I planned on doing it again as many Saturday mornings as I can. You know, if I have other activities, then we may skip a Saturday. But other than that, I do plan on doing this every Saturday morning at 8 o'clock. So thank you all for joining me. And definitely come back tomorrow morning at 9 Eastern for my next episode. And we'll see you then. Have a great day. Bye bye. As soon as I find the quit button. Oh, there we go.